Hey guys, Movie Nerd here, and I'm so sorry for the delayed post. I've been through a lot these past couple of months. I've been working 2 jobs, I've been attending school full time, but I can safely and proudly say that I finally finished all of my studies. I finally got my bachelor's degree at Montclair State University, and now I'm good to go. I'm a college graduate, I'm an alumni, so it feels great. So I'm here back on the channel to post more movie reviews, more content for you guys, and for this video, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to start off by doing something that I've been trying to do for a long time, and now I'm able to do so because I've been through a lot these past couple of months. So I've managed to see a couple of movies. So what this video is going to do primarily is to round up all the movies that I've seen so far in 2018. So without further ado, let's dive in and do the 2018 movie roundup. So first off, it's Black Panther. Black Panther is directed by Ryan Coogler. First, I think it's only appropriate to praise the work of Black Panther writer and director Ryan Coogler. Not only does he deliver one hell of a quality Marvel movie, he has crafted a film loaded with relevance and strong moral themes, and an unforgettable villain played by Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger is one of the best MCU villains I have seen in a while. So I'm going to give Black Panther an A. Next up is Game Night. Game Night is directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein. This film combines both thriller and comedy seamlessly. It wouldn't work without the hilarious performances from both Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. However, the film ends weak, and I feel I left the theater a bit underwhelmed, and I think they should have done a little bit more towards the film's ending. Overall, I'm going to give Game Night a B-. Next up is Thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds is directed by Corey Finley. This dark comedy proves yet again that Anya Taylor-Joy thrives in any genre she's put in. However, Olivia Cooke steals the film with her emotionless character. Unfortunately, this film was Anton Yelchin's last film before he died, but his performance stood out the most to me. This film is unpredictable and wickedly funny, so I'm going to give Thoroughbreds a B+. Next up is Red Sparrow. Red Sparrow is directed by Francis Lawrence. I had so many problems with this spy thriller film. There are so many redeemable moments in the film. The action sequences are some of the best I've seen in a while. However, Jennifer Lawrence's performance felt like she was in a different film. However, Joel Edgerton outshines Lawrence, and there are some pacing issues as well by the second and third act. The second act felt a little long, it didn't flow right, but by the third, it just didn't end and it didn't wrap up nicely. So I'm going to give Red Sparrow a C-. Next up is Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs is directed by Wes Anderson. I had so much fun with this film. The cast was brilliant, especially Bryan Cranston as Sheaf. While the film illustrates relevant political issues we're currently facing, it doesn't overshadow the plot. I was already excited on seeing a stop-motion film involving dogs in Japan to begin with. The only negative I have with this film is that I wish it was longer. Overall, I enjoyed it, it was great. I'm going to give Isle of Dogs a B+. Next up is Ready Player One. Ready Player One is directed by Steven Spielberg. I did not read the novel by Ernest Cline, so I'm curious if it faithfully adapts from the novel. Nevertheless, I was caught off guard with this film. I was floored by the abundance of pop culture references in this film and the soundtrack. However, this film does have its flaws, and I think it's too reliant on these pop culture references instead of focusing directly on the plot. I wish we could have seen more from the real world as opposed to the Oasis. But Olivia Cooke yet again proves an outstanding performance, and I'm going to give Ready Player One a B+. Next up is Blockers. Blockers is directed by Kay Cannon. First, I want to say that this is one of the funniest and smartest comedies I have seen so far. Cannon directed great performances from the teens and parents. I think Cannon handled this bold subject matter to balancing the story from both perspectives, and John Cena and Leslie Mann both give great hilarious performances. From the teens to the parents, it conveys a wild and chaotic quest to stop the girls from losing their virginity, no matter the cost. Overall, I enjoyed Blockers. I'm going to give Blockers a B. Next up is A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is directed by John Krasinski. I think this film is this year's Get Out. Both Krasinski and Blunt gave visceral and incredible performances given with little dialogue. About 80% of this film is silent and demands you to not make a sound as his family faces otherworldly threats. It's a suspenseful and intense journey along the way and earned its place at my top 5 faith films of 2018. I'm going to give A Quiet Place an A+. Next up is Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War is directed by the Russo brothers. Avengers Infinity War is a culmination of 18 Marvel movies leading up to one of the most biggest and massive film I have seen in a while. The Russo brothers and Kevin Feige did the impossible. They were able to produce a behemoth of a film that stars all of the characters that we fall in love with for the past 10 years. However, no film is ever perfect, and this film does have its flaws. The narrative is uneven at times, unfinished CGI, and questionable character actions. Nonetheless, the positives outweigh the negatives. I'm going to give Avengers Infinity War a B+. Next up is Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is directed by David Leitch. Just when you thought Deadpool couldn't outdo himself, his highly anticipated sequel is finally here. The action sequences are large in scale, the gags are a lot funnier, and the violence is more extreme. It definitely plays around with the R rating, so if you're sensitive towards crude jokes or extreme violence, then this isn't the film for you. I think this film is slightly better than the first one and adds layers to the character for future installments. I'm going to give Deadpool 2 a B. Next up is Solo, A Star Wars Story. Solo, A Star Wars Story is directed by Ron Howard. I was very skeptical when we first learned about Solo, A Star Wars Story. A new actor taking on the role made iconic by legendary actor Harrison Ford just sounded like a bad idea. And on top of that, the production being plagued with drama as the original directors were fired and Ron Howard came in to finish the job. But I have to tell you, this movie blew me away. Yes, there are some issues, but the positives outweigh the negatives. Overall, I enjoyed Solo, A Star Wars Story. I understand that there's some divisiveness going on with the fan base and the Star Wars fan base and stuff, but that's not me. I'm completely a casual moviegoer, so I'm going to give Solo, A Star Wars Story a B-. Next up is Upgrade. Upgrade is directed by Lee Whannell. First, Logan Marshall Green shines in this film. He gives a heartfelt and great performance. Essentially, we've all seen revenge tales many times, but this film puts a new twist to that and illustrates important themes on control and man versus technology. However, the other characters felt secondary and weak. However, this film earned its spot in my top 5 fave films of 2018. I'm going to give Upgrade an A. Next up is Tag. Tag is directed by Jeff Tosmick. Tag is a real-life story of a group of friends that have been playing the same game of tag for the last 30 years. The film started off weak for me, but it gradually grows and becomes stronger in terms with the comedy and outrageous performances. The cast in this film are great. The last act felt muddled and tried too much, but it was great seeing the post-credit scenes with the footage of the real-life people playing the game of tag. Overall, I enjoy Tag, and I'm going to give Tag a B. Next up is The Incredibles 2. The Incredibles 2 is directed by Brad Bird. First, I love the family dynamic in this film. There are exciting and amazing action sequences in this film. The villain is the biggest issue I have with this film. Syndrome was the best villain from the first one. The villain in this one falls short and has weak motivations. Plus, there are pacing issues from this film as well. However, the positives outweigh the negatives, and I'm going to give The Incredibles 2 a B+. So that's it. What did you guys think of the films I mentioned? Did you guys see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Please comment below, and until next time, guys, peace out.